Hey, Susan Lazar Hart here. Your transformational, motivational mindset moment with moi, your congruency coach for creatives, for seekers, for those asking to live in choice, for those asking for more, for those seeking what we know is actually already here within and around. And that leads me to today's topic. So I'm just going to get my notes up and here we go. There we go. If you're new to this space, welcome, welcome, welcome. Press hashtag replay if you're watching later. Come on in with your questions. Sorry, I've got some pollen in the air that's kind of bugging my face these days. Come on in with your questions, and this is not a dialogue or monologue, it is a conversation. And this month it is about self-care. Now, I popped in with the idea of self-care, looking around at the world today, looking around at the season in North America, which is fall, and where the squirrels start hunkering down and getting all the nuts they need, and the bears start getting organized for their nests and lairs. And I actually do the same thing. I don't know about you, but when it starts to become fall and the seasons change, we can actually get a sense of what's required of us. And I love the contribution of the birds, if you can hear them. So it's about hunkering down for me as well, and looking at what I'm creating, how I'm creating, and how I can actually, hey Laura, welcome, how I can actually start to nest myself. And that I call self-care. Now, we've been taught self-care is about how you look. And there's nothing wrong with, getting your hair done, your nails done, whatever that is for you. Self-care, taking time out for massage, all of that. Yes, that's part of who you be, and that's part of what brings you joy. What I'm asking you to do is let's go a little deeper. Right? Let's go a little deeper. And this month I'm dedicating to self-care, and I'm dividing it into quadrants of emotional, mental, psychological, physical. And I just wanted to open it up with that awareness for you of where we're heading this month on our transformational mindset moments. And so you can come in with your questions even ahead of time. Just come on into this Facebook group. So it's this constant pursuit of self-care that this reality wants to commodify, and that's what I'm asking you to just acknowledge, receive it, and let it go while you're with me now for these moments. That's what this series is about. It's about you finding that place for you and what you feel you're being contributed to, and self-care is so paramount. Like, I'm a self-care junkie, right? Truly. Every morning I'm asking myself, what is it that I require today for myself, right? It's a willingness to put self first. What is it? Because the thing is, if you're not tuned in, tapped into your life and living from the inside out, from your spirit, who you truly be, you can actually be a contribution to anyone else around you. If you're holding yourself back, if you're holding yourself last. So, how many of you were taught to put yourself last? Well, that actually doesn't create anything greater. Even when you're, flying on a plane and they tell you when the air thing comes down to put the mask on you first before you put it on someone else, right? You've got to be whole within you first. And that's what the acknowledgement of self-care is all about, right? It's just not little quickies. It's again, when I start my day for myself, it's with a meditation, and it's a movement, and it's listening to something transformational. So I'm caring for me and how I be with the energies, and asking myself, what energies would I like to be with today? So it's all from choice. I mean, that's the first self-care tip I can give you, is what are you choosing today? Because this is your life, you're living, it's your choice, right? And it's not a luxury. Many people were taught putting yourself first is a luxury. It's when you're willing to put yourself first, that's your priority, right? That's a priority. You wake up first for you. No one else wakes up first for you. You wake up first for you. You breathe that air and you choose how you want to be with your day. So when we don't do that, have you ever noticed that, you or somebody that you're with or people that you observe are constantly overwhelmed, tired, ill-equipped to handle the changes that are popping up these days? Because it's important to assess for yourself in all the domains that you play with, so you can ensure for yourself that you're caring for your mind, body, and spirit. Right? So that's actually what congruent living is all about. It's about self-care. It's about being present. It's about understanding that there is a system in place, or several systems that you can create for yourself, where you feel enthused about your choices and focused and filled with that sense of peace and joy in everything you be and do. And again, it's, taking an aerial view of your life and your living and asking yourself, who am I today? Who am I today? And what grand and glorious adventure can I be, do, have, create, change, instill, and instigate? Because if you're not instilling and instigating from a place of fullness, you're doing it from lack. And that's when we go into self-judgment. That's when we go into really doubting what we're creating and how we're creating. Self-care is about self-acknowledgement. It's the action you take to address your own experiences in creating a life you love. I'm going to repeat that one. Write it down. What's self-care? Self-care is the action you take to address your experiences, not somebody else's, in creating a life you love. Now, address is my key word here. Meaning, if you don't identify that you're having a difficult time with something, then you're bumping up against other belief systems. When you're able to take an aerial view and ask what's working here, what's not working here, right? If I choose this, what will this create? If I don't choose this, what will this create? And that big question is, what awareness here would bring me back to a sense of wholeness and peace? What awareness is that? It's, there's so many questions that can shift and change how you feel about you, about taking care of you. The thing is, you've got to let those belief systems by the wayside and start being in the question of what choices do I have here? Because we always have choice. We have choice. Choice is. That's who we be. So last month we talked about intuition and using that intuition to create a greater sense of who you be. And if you haven't seen that yet, just go to the youtube.com/C/Susan Lazar Hart. Just Google Susan Lazar Hart YouTube and you'll find it. And I really, really encourage you to listen to that series that we did on intuition. It will assist you in creating more with this new series of self-care. Right? This series we're going to play with, it's going to introduce you if you're not already there. And there are many times when we're not. We think, yes. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, damn. Right? I'm bumping up against something, or I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling depressed, or whatever that is. You've got to ask yourself some questions. Who does that belong to? What am I asking to create here? Does this actually assist me? This is all self-care. Being in the question is self-care. Right? It's caring about yourself enough to create greater in living a life you love. So much of self-care is about acceptance. It's about stepping out of judgment and letting go of old habits that don't contribute to what you're asking to create inside and out. I'm going to take a pause here. Any questions, anything popping for people? One of the things that I know for sure, like the show of hands, right? How many people have taken themselves out of accepting, out of allowance? That, yeah, I messed up. Oh, well, now what else is possible, right? Self-care is about letting yourself off the hook of judgment, shame, regret, blame, all of that stuff. Yeah. I know a lot of people are away. They're going to be watching this later. It's a Labor Day weekend. But if you're here, give me a heart, a thumbs up. Let me know that. Oh, thank you so much. Yay. Thank you so much. And again, if you have any questions on this, pop them right in here. And if you're not here now today, pop them in later, because I come in and check every day. I used to think that just by making a choice that would make me happy, and I'd be in that enthusiasm for a nanosecond, and I wondered what happened to that. Well, because it wasn't perhaps aligned with who I truly be and what I am asking to play with. So we often look at self-care as just, okay, I'm going to decide to do this, I'm going to decide to do that. No. It's about choice. And choice is just every 10 seconds. Does this still work for me? Right? Being present with your questions. So this series is coming to you live every Monday. So stick around for every week, every Monday. Come on in with your questions and give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying this, and a thumbs down if you don't, because I'd like to know either way where you'd like to go with this series on self-care. Again, I'll be dividing it into 4 quadrants: spiritual, emotional, physical, and psychological. How many of you think that self-care has to look a certain way? Right? It actually doesn't. We're all different. We all have different needs, desires, and wants. It's about taking that pause and acknowledging, yes, there's so many self-care practices out there. Which ones work for you, right? Which ones actually start to resonate with you? I know for myself, just recently, I've been doing a lot of work with the heart. And one of the things I realized is if my heart isn't with me, I'm not in my body. I'm not here. I'm not really in what it is that I'm asking to create. So I'm learning to teach myself to step out of the old habit of like, yes, gung-ho, and take a moment, tap into my heart. Oh, just even doing that now, it just changes everything, right? It allows you to be present. And that's a self-care. Just taking a moment, tapping into your heart. Your heart has its own sense of what it is asking of you and with you and for you. And it fills all of your centers with a sense of peace and calm. And this is a great place to choose from. So that's just a little self-care exercise I'm sharing with you that I do with myself, that I'm learning to do. It's not something I was taught to do. I was taught to just go for it, right? Just jump on in, go for it. Well, yes, and what is my heart telling me? Is this choice aligning with what brings me joy, what brings me peace? Yeah. It's the small changes every day that when you're willing to play with being centered, asking, is this in alignment, that changes your whole psychological sense of self-care. And again, self-care is about improving that mind, right? Improving that mind so it actually works with you and for you, not against you. Hey, Marcy, welcome. So we're integrating self-care this month in a way that works with our lives. Hey, Nicole, welcome. And how we choose to be and live. And we're essentially always feeding our mind stuff, right? Whether we think we are or we're not, we are. And whether it's media or literature or belief systems that we were taught, or people or friends or opinions from everyone, this is a big one. And here's my my second, because we just talked about the heart, my second recommendation for you this week to be aware of is what goes in comes out. And we talk a lot about that at the Congruent Living Academy. What goes in goes out. And remember this one, that what your target is with yourself is to always look at your needs that create that sense of safety, of capability, and confidence. Right? What are you listening to? What are you listening to? What are you reading? Who are you listening to? Does it create in you that sense of oh, this, I feel safe, I feel capable, and I feel confident. I'm ready to go ahead, right? It's about figuring out and tailoring what you want to achieve in your sense of self and in your life, and tailoring your inputs so they support the ecosystem of the mind. Yeah. What goes in, goes out. Being able to tailor any input that you have builds a resilience and helps you make an informed design of leading a life you love and the future that you're actually asking to create. Remember, what goes in goes out. So take an aerial view of, how many times do you flick on Facebook when do you turn on a Netflix? Do you listen to something or read something? And I always ask myself, is this adding to my life and living? If it's not, I just erase it, whatever it is. I unfollow. It's just with all of those algorithms out there, they're looking to see what you're listening to, and they're going to feed you more. Now, is this feeding actually creating a nurturing environment for your mind and your mind to create greater width, right? This is probably the best starting point if you've never really taken a look at what information is coming in. Because again, what goes in goes out. And this is a way that you can actually start to take care of you. So start looking at yourself as the star of your show, right? You're going to become self-aware of all your needs and become more kind to yourself, more gentle. And this is going to show you how to create a self-directed change, right? Which is what self-care is all about. So you're not feeling trapped by the environment around you. You are creating a nurturing environment from within. So from within, from without, from above, so below. Because the thing is, this is who you came here to be. We're just not taught self-care in this reality. And if you're coming in late, I did mention that, spas and massages and all of those things that we were taught that self-care is, there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm asking you to do is dig a little deeper and start creating an environment of self-care that's going to nurture you, feed your soul. And that starts right there with the psychological. What information are you pulling in that actually doesn't create a nurturing environment for you? And this is what I'm going to ask of you for this week, right? Because it's what you're going to do for yourself that creates greater. Now, once again, any questions, anything popping for people as you listen to this? So appreciate you all coming on in. I know a lot of you listen later, which I'm so grateful for. And I love your comments when you come on in and just share what is popping for you. Again, what are you looking for in self-care? What does that mean for you? Are you willing to put yourself in front and center of your life and living? That's my desire and creation as we grow together in this series this month on our transformational motivational mindset moments. Any questions? Anything popping? How has this been for you? Give me a hands up, a thumbs up, a heart, so we know where we're going. This is something that really, really popped for me. This idea of it's time. Oh, yay! Thank you so much. Yay! Lots of hearts. Yay! Love that. It's time. It's fall. It's that season of shift and change. And when we have these seasons of shifts and change, it's such a gift for us to shift and change. We are part of the seasons. We are part of the planet. We're not separate. We're not a separate entity. And it's so important to be present with that and be still with that and gift yourself the space for you to actually be you, right? Because there's nobody else like you. And that's our target here, is for you to start being more of you, that juicy, joyous being. Yay. Oh, yay. Thanks so much for all the hearts. I will love you and leave you. Thank you so much for being with me in this time. I appreciate you and love all the hearts. Oh my God, that's yay. Once again, pop in your comments below, and I will see you right here next week live for our second portion of self-care. I think we'll be talking about emotional self-care. So this one is a little quickie on the psychological. We're going to move into the emotional. And again, don't forget your home play. Listen to this again and take an aerial view of what you're listening to and start asking some questions. Is this nurturing me? Is this filling my soul? Is this assisting me in where I'm asking to go? If it's not, let it go. Have an amazing, amazing week. Remember, live boldly, love greatly. Love greatly, that means loving you. Yeah. And be that fearless leader you came here to be, because the world needs more of you and that special sauce, not less. Have a great one. Bye-bye.